It's the all-seeing eye. I'm watching you. No, it is not CBS. It's Channel Weird. I'm Clyde Lewis. You may be wondering why I have this huge eyeball. It's because I have the Mad Martian with me today. And, of course, the Mad Martian runs the Eyeball Museum. Keeping Portland weird, keeping all of Oregon weird with the Eyeball Museum. I love this stuff. The Mad Martian's with us. You know, it's funny.
Greetings, human.
Yes, greetings to you. One of the things that's hilarious is that when they told me that you were coming on the program, I said, I have an inkling of who the Mad Martian is. I know you as another character. I know you as Broccoli Man.
I am Broccoli Man.
Yes, another superhero that is an unsung hero of Portland and what makes us weird. And Broccoli Man is near and dear to my heart because many times I have seen you as Broccoli Man at like the McMinnville UFO festivals, and you had a stint on America's Got Talent.
Yes.
Tell me about that. Tell me how that went.
Well, that was fascinating because they did a road show where they did interviews across America, and they hit Portland in 2008. 2 years later, they called me and invited me to be on the show. And it turned out they wanted to play a prank on the judges. So they had first graders dressed as the judges in the exact same costumes as the judges come onto the stage and say, hey, we're taking your jobs. And they sat in their laps. So they're basically, each one had a mini-me. And then the act they brought out to judge was Broccoli Man. Yeah. And it was very cute, with the kids judging Broccoli Man. It was hilarious. Howard Stern absolutely hated it.
Oh, my gosh.
You could just see the anger seething in his facial expressions.
Did you meet Howard, or did he not want to have anything to do with you?
Oh, I didn't actually shake hands with any of them.
Oh, okay.
But, I was on stage while they were not so happy to see me.
So he didn't like his broccoli, just like many other people don't like their broccoli.
No, and I wasn't sure if it was me personally, the giant broccoli that he hated so much, or just the fact that the producers were pranking the judges.
Wow.
I think he hated the whole thing. He hated everything about it.
You're probably responsible for him leaving America's Got Talent because he hated it so much. Yeah, it's so funny. First of all, there's so many things I want to ask you. Okay, let's start with the Eyeball Museum.
Yes.
Okay. So, and then we'll get to Broccoli Man again. I know we will. So
you can never get enough Broccoli Man.
Never get enough Broccoli Man, especially when it's buttered and or with cheese sauce.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, tell me about the Eyeball Museum and how it all got started, because it's an online museum.
Yes.
And I've been there, and you can buy little cuddly toys you can sleep with at night, like these fluffy balls that look like eyeballs, and other cool things. But tell me how this all got started, the eyeball thing, the eyeball fascination.
So it actually started with the band The Residents.
Oh, yeah.
The Residents,
That's okay.
They became famous for wearing eyeball masks.
Yes.
In fact, their shtick was they sent an audition tape to Warner Brothers, and they didn't have a band name, and Warner Brothers sent back their rejection notice addressed to Resident.
Oh.
And so they adopted that as their band name, and they remained anonymous.
And they wore the eyeballs. So it started out with the eyeball suit. I'm sure you've got an eyeball suit, correct?
So a friend and I made our own eyeball heads, and we actually used to show up at Devo concerts wearing Residents eyeballs because we were crazy kids. And they let us backstage.
Oh, so you got to meet Devo.
Yes.
Oh, wow. I love Devo. So you met Mark and you met Bob. How was that? How'd that go?
Yeah, even Alan was still there back in those days.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, they loved the crazy kids in the eyeballs. Yeah.
And I was just telling you during the break or before the break, I said that I found out that Fred Armisen, the man who did Saturday Night Live, of course, well known for that, and also Portlandia, he was a drummer for Devo at one time at a gathering in California.
Yeah.
And I just thought, it's quite funny that how close or I guess you call it 6 degrees of separation from Broccoli Man to Fred Armisen, or the 6 degrees of separation from Broccoli Man to Devo, or from the Mad Martian to Devo, or the Eyeball Man. I mean, there's so many different personas, so many different things. So, okay, so you used to dress up in residence costumes.
Yes.
And from there, how did it go?
So when the internet happened, I was like, oh, what's this internet thing? This is cool. I should think of something to sell on the internet. So I was like, oh, maybe I'll sell eyeballs. I don't know. It was just like I don't know what to do. I'll sell eyeballs kind of thing. And I started with an eyeball kit. For like $12, you would get a box with a bunch of different eyeballs in it that I had bought wholesale,
Right.
And then it kind of grew, and now I've got like over 300 different eyeball items for sale.
I can see that because one of my favorite things, or one of my favorite things I used to do or used to have at Halloween, I'm a gumball enthusiast. I really love gumballs. I would love to have a gumball museum. Serious, a gumball machine museum where you have different gumball machines and you pay a fee to go in, and then you bring in your quarters and you can buy all these gumballs if you want. That's why I thought it'd be a great idea for a museum.
Yeah.
But I used to love to get a hold of the eyeball gumballs or the eyeball jawbreakers.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you have any of those.
I don't sell anything that's perishable generally.
Oh, are gumballs perishable?
I don't know.
You don't have to freeze them, do you?
I guess if it's solid sugar, they probably last forever.
You can freeze eyeballs, of course.
Yeah.
If you remember what movie was it where they needed eyeballs and they used to freeze them, and I can't remember what movie it was. I think it was like a Blade Runner movie or some movie.
I think it was Blade Runner.
Was it Blade Runner? Yeah.
Yes.
Well, see, and that's the thing is that eyeballs are.
I made your eyes.
Yeah.
Blade Runner.
Windows to the soul. That's what they are.
I met him once, by the way.
Who?
Oh God, what's his name?
Who, Rutger Hauer?
No, the guy who made the eyes.
Oh, I don't know who he is, but yeah, I know who you're talking about. You met him.
But he was at a convention signing autographs, and so I got a selfie with him, like going like this, looking into my eye.
That's bizarre. How can one's obsession with eyeballs turn into a lucrative thing? I'm shaking my head here.
Oh, it's not lucrative at all.
Oh, it's not lucrative.
No.
I figured it would be lucrative.
That is
I'm sure
not my day job. No.
So it's not an eyeball fetish. What would you call it? It's a
fascination.
It's a fascination with eyeballs.
Yeah.
And like I said, I was very impressed with the eyeball pillow, and we have eyeball museum. What do you call that? That's a water. Can you see that?
Oh yeah.
Let the camera see that. Okay. This is nice. This is nice. It's cold too. Does it hold beverages cold and warm too, or?
It's been sitting in my car overnight.
Is that why it's so cold? It's cold. It's the Eyeball Museum, www.eyeballmuseum.com. And so you have all these little doodads.
Yeah, now these I don't actually sell. I just got that. I do sell them, but not on the website. That's on Cafe Press.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So they just print at random.
So you can go to Cafe Press and order one of those.
That's
if you
amazing.
Want. Yeah.
And then you have a little blow-up eyeball there. Let me see a little blow-up eyeball.
Yeah, this is actually from Japan.
Oh, really?
This is Madama Oyaji from an anime series or manga series called Gegege no Kitaro.
You can say that. I would not be able to say that, especially since I haven't had coffee this morning. Oh, that's amazing.
And they made tons of things with this character. So I've got a lot of this in my collection.
I'm trying to think of every eyeball that I've ever seen in a show. Or there was actually B horror film. I don't know if you remember it. It's the one where God, what do they call it? It was where this eye, this strange alien eye, is attacking a Swiss chalet.
Yes, I have a model of that eye.
You've got to be kidding me.
You remember garage kits from the 80s?
Yes, I do.
I have a garage kit of that
Of that eyeball.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name offhand, but I remember it was a movie. They were all stuck at this Swiss chalet up in the Alps.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden...
The crawling eye.
The crawling eye. Gosh, yes, that's what it was. And notice how weird we are. We're a bunch of geeks talking about eyeballs here. But yeah, the crawling eye. And I remember that movie, watching it, and because I used to do a fanzine about horror films. And I remember that film, and I just remember at the end, the eyeball actually kind of implodes on itself. It was just gross. It was gross to watch. See, that's the thing about me is I have a really... I remember there was a Fulci film, Zombie, the Zombie 2 film, and there's that moment where the zombie is pulling this girl towards a nail that's sticking out of the 2x4 or whatever it was because they destroyed it. So they're pulling her head right in, and I'm like going, no! And it's the eyes going, no! Or when they're when a gangster wants to disable somebody, he basically takes his thumbs and, no! Just pushes the eyes in.
It's only a movie.
But it's traumatizing. I don't know. There's so many things come to mind. You think of the eyeball situation. You're thinking about, just different. CBS is an eye. The CBS logo. You don't silly CBS stuff, do you? Or do you?
No.
But you notice that. I mean, we were just talking about the other day on my show Ground Zero, the TV show, the radio show I do. We were talking about the winking eye, which was Algol, the winking demon star, and they call it the winking eye. It's kind of like the left eye winking eye. And Algol was an alien that came down from the winking star, which is the eyeball star, came down and gave this guy who runs a mine this precious technology, and this technology was supposed to help him rule the world. I did this theory that Algol is short for algorithmic language, and since you know a lot about cybersecurity, I thought, isn't that kind of odd that this is the thing that algorithms were part of the winking eye? I don't know if you knew that.
They're part of everything.
What are they? I mean, that's the thing, is that nobody knows exactly what an algorithm is, but it's like it just rules our minds. And it comes from the whole world, the word of algorithm comes from the Algol winking demonic star.
That I didn't know.
And which is the eye of...
Though I do have bags with winking eyes on them for sale.
You have what?
Bags.
With winking eyes.
With winking
are they
eyes
those
on
things that when you flick them, the light changes?
When you turn them, they wink.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so Omsie had this eyeball one time.
They did.
They had a huge eyeball at Omsie, and I don't know why they had it there, but they did. And they got rid of it. Don't tell me that you bought it. Don't tell me that you
It's in my
had
living
it.
room.
I knew it.
The giant Omsie eyeball is in my
living room. I knew it. Okay,
yes.
do we have give us a clip of this. Show. You have a clip of this, right? Andrew, you do. Okay, you got it up? Okay, so this is the huge, how big is this eyeball?
The eyeball itself is about 4 feet wide, and the table is about 6 feet wide.
How'd you get in your house?
I had to detach the eyeball from the table and turn the table in sideways.
Does it light up?
It does there are like buttons all around the base.
Yeah.
And I think only 2 of them still work.
What do the buttons do?
But it would light up. The retina would detach. The iris would open.
Have you ever freaked out your neighbors or something and put the big eyeball somewhere in the bushes and?
Who do you think helped me carry it into the house?
And they didn't question it. They didn't say
why. No, they thought, wow, that came from Omsie. That's cool.
Are you an ophthalmologist or something? It's like they didn't say anything. I mean, I don't know. I would question that. I'd say, why is this guy? I mean, it's like that whole, what is that song? What has he got in there? What has he got buried in there? What has he got in his basement? He's got an eye in his basement, guys. The all-seeing eye. So, okay, the Eyeball Museum was just this idea to start selling eyes.
Yeah.
And you say it's not lucrative, but it's there.
Yeah.
What are you planning on doing? You want to make it a walk-in, or would you ever thought of a brick-and-mortar museum to make this happen?
I don't know that could make any money. I've seen a lot of small museums come and go in Portland. So
I know a guy who started a UFO museum, and he had nothing. He basically had a store. It was kind of like a store. And in it, he would sell UFO memorabilia and flying saucers and things of that nature. But basically, to make it legit, they had people come in and they did just lectures every once in a while. Mm-hmm. And then it went away. It was on Weird TV back when Chuck Serino used to do Weird TV. And I just thought to myself, it doesn't take much to create kind of a brick-and-mortar museum that maybe you could set up somewhere and have the eyeballs and just be like on the side of the road somewhere. People drive in and they come all the way from who knows Lodi, California to come see the screaming eyeballs from hell in this museum, which I think would be, or the crawling eye, which is something that I can't believe I pulled out of my head from recall because it was a very traumatic movie for me when I watched the eyeballs explode on a Swiss chalet somewhere in the Alps.
The funny thing is that's the one thing everybody remembers from that movie is it was the Swiss Alps.
Anyway, with us today on Channel Weird is the Mad Martian, and we're talking about the Eyeball Museum. It's eyeballmuseum.com?
Yes.
Eyeballmuseum.com. Get yourself an eyeball.
You can't get one of those. That's a
You
one
can't
of a
get
kind.
one of these.
That was made for me by Laura Lady of the Horror Hotel in Ohio.
Okay, we'll talk more about this craziness. Keeping Portland Weird on Channel Weird. We'll be back.
AncientLifeOil.com. That's AncientLifeOil.com. Are you stressed? I mean, who isn't? Anxiety creeping in? No, not that. Is sleep hard to attain because your brain just won't slow down? We're living in crazy times, and the fear knob has been turned up. Okay, there's an answer. Take a big breath, exhale, and go log on to AncientLifeOil.com. CBD, broad and full spectrum, organic and non-GMO CBD for you to enjoy. Change your tune from fear to calm, from brain overload to clear thinking. 0.003 THC on full spectrum and 0% THC on broad spectrum. Competitive pricing with the best quality. Also know everything is going to get better. No worries, be happy. CBD can help calm so your nerves don't think they're a 6-string electric guitar. Enjoy life, smile, and log on to AncientLifeOil.com for great CBD. That's AncientLifeOil.com. You'll be glad you did.
Hey guys, it's Clyde Lewis. Have you ever wanted Ground Zero merchandise but didn't know where to go? Well, I want to let you know that we now have our own online store with such items as t-shirts, hoodies, decals, tote bags, and other exclusive specialty apparel. There's a secure and easy-to-use shopping cart for your purchases. Coming soon will be signed posters and coffee mugs available as we are constantly adding new items. So shop today at the official Ground Zero store by going to groundzeromerch.com. That's groundzeromerch.com.
Following a disaster, your home emergency kit will be invaluable. Building a kit doesn't take long, and you'll be glad you did when disaster strikes. Here's a list of items to include: a first aid kit, battery-powered or hand crank radio, flashlight, extra batteries, an emergency whistle, cell phone with charger, cash and small bills, a local map with your family meeting place identified, food and water to last 2 weeks, garbage bags, dust masks, and seasonal clothing and footwear. Add prescription medications or any other important items unique to your family's needs. Once you've created your kit, check food expiry dates once a year and update seasonal clothing for growing children. If you have pets, make sure you have everything your furry friends need in an easy-to-carry grab-and-go bag. To learn more about preparing an emergency kit, visit mil.wa.gov/preparedness and get 2 weeks ready.
Be sure to get your low-cost 2-week supply of food with a miraculous 25-year shelf life by going to preparewithgroundzero.com.
Hey guys, this is Clyde Lewis from Ground Zero. In order to counter the growing suppression and censorship of information, we've created our own private digital playground called Aftermath.media. It's an exclusive online multimedia library featuring a social media platform, videos, audio clips, archive shows, and research groups. There are also documents and a news aggregator, all for $10 a month. If you sign up for a yearly subscription this March, it's only $79. So go to Aftermath.media. Again, that's Aftermath.media.
Hi, I'm Stephen Briggs from the Surfer Music app. Surfer links thousands of stations displaying song titles and artists organized by genre. It's easy to find your favorites. You can join our Kickstarter campaign. Help us build 5 new features for the Surfer Music app. Find out more, go to Kickstarter.com and search for Surfer Music, S-U-R-F-R. For a direct link, go to surfer.fm and click the Kickstarter banner. That's S-U-R-F-R.fm.
Look into my eye. Look into his eye. Look into the eyeballs, the fickled eyeballs of fate. This is Channel Weird, making Portland weird again. Right here with the Mad Martian and the Eyeball Museum and Broccoli Man and the Wine Lunatic. And just going down all of the personas of my guest tonight.
And we're all here today.
Yes, we are. We're all here today, all of our persons. So you've got the attention of Devo. You get the attention of all these other people. Who was the most important person besides Devo and others have you met because you are this personality?
Well, it's not so much that I'm this personality. It's that I actually go out to seek this stuff sometimes. Like when George W. Bush was campaigning in town back then, I showed up at a protest rally. And then I showed up at his, I don't know what you call it, people greeting him at the airport. And they almost kicked me out because they assumed I was a protester. And, I was just there to get on TV, right?
Yeah.
I didn't really care about what was going on. I wasn't into politics at all back then. Not the case now, but back then. So I just showed up and I got a selfie with George W. Bush.
You know what? You and I have something in common. I met George W. Bush. I had tea with him at the Empire Hotel in New York. I was doing the Toxic Avenger voice for Toxie.
Nice.
I was doing the Toxic Avenger voice. I am the Toxic Avenger. And I needed to get back home to Portland, and I was going to go to Central Park because I wanted to go see the Strawberry Fields for Lennon. I wanted to see the John Lennon Memorial. And I ended up at the Empire Hotel overlooking Central Park. Went in there, and I thought that there was this all-you-can-eat buffet in this room. So I walked in, I got myself a plate, filled it up with ham and potato salad and everything. I'm sitting there, I'm eating in this place, and it's empty. And one of the guys came in, gave me a glass of water, and I'm thinking, I'm at this restaurant, and I'm minding my own business, eating at this restaurant, and all of a sudden, some guy I knew from Florida, who I think he ran a radio station in Florida, said, "Clyde Lewis, what are you doing here?" I said, "Well, I'm eating. I'm in a restaurant. What are you talking about?" I said, "Duh." I said, "No, what are you doing here?" And I said, "Well, I'm doing the Toxic Avenger." And he said, "Well, this isn't a restaurant." And I looked at him and I said, "What?" He says, "No, man." He says, I don't know what you're doing, but you just are eating a plate of food that was for the George W. Bush campaign. So he was having one of these like $200 plate gatherings in New York. And here's me eating my face, feeding my face. And I said, "Oh, my God." I said, "So George W. Bush is going to be here?" And he goes, "Yeah." And he no sooner said that, the Bush comes through the door, and he's looking at me, and I'm looking at him. And I said to him, "Excuse me, I'm sorry, Mr. Bush, but I ate some of your food and I didn't pay for the plate." And he looked at me and goes, "Well, where's the tea?" And I said, "I don't know, sir." So he went and he fixed himself some tea. He says, "You a tea drinker?" I said, "No, I'm not a tea drinker." He said, "I know you ate one of my plates, for the campaign." He says, "I need you to do me a favor." I said, "What do you do? What do you for a living?" And I told him I was a talk show host. And he said, "You need to say good things about me on the air." He says, "If you don't, I'm going to come after you because I'm going to run the FCC when I'm president." That's what he said. And that was my experience with George W. Bush. So, I mean, you get a photo op. Were you in the broccoli suit or what were you doing?
Yeah, they made me take the head off.
Oh,
so
how sad.
Yes, the picture.
His dad hates broccoli.
Yeah, which is why I did that. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
his father was famous for actually causing broccoli sales to go
plummet.
down.
Yeah.
And that was my whole shtick for being there.
Oh, okay.
As Broccoli Man. And,
your whole stock for being there.
Oh, yeah. So I asked him, because this was a thing I did for a while, is I would show up at celebrity autograph signings and things like that. And I would ask them, "How do you feel about broccoli?"
Yeah.
And then I would post on my broccoliman.com website,
Right.
What they said.
Right.
And George Bush said, "I like the tops, but not the stalks."
That's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
You can put a quote like that. I like the top stuff.
Yeah.
Well, and so that's interesting. So you get to meet he was campaigning when you met him too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he wasn't president yet,
Right.
but you met him when he was campaigning. And that's amazing that, and see, that's the thing is that I find it odd because, I mean, how did you get close to him? I just want to know.
That's the funny thing. I have to say that his staff was very nice.
Okay.
Because if I were his staff, I would have kicked me out.
Well, because I want to tell you something. When I went to the Empire Hotel, I had no clue that these guys were, because they had Secret Service guys there, right?
Yeah.
And so some guy stopped me before I went into that so-called restaurant where they had all the meals, all the food. And he stopped me and he goes, "Who are you?" And I said, this is what I said to him. I said, "I am the Toxic Avenger." I said it as a joke because I was doing the Toxic Avenger thing. He says, "Yeah, I am the Toxic Avenger." And he looked at me up and down. He says, "Okay." And I didn't know it was a Secret Service agent until it was too late, because then I realized, Oh, okay. The guy with the thing in his ear wearing the suit. But he was an older guy. He had like a white. He didn't look like, those MIB type dudes that are standing with the glasses going, Mr. President's coming down. Columbia's in the vehicle. He's coming in. They didn't do any of that. He was just standing there, and he had a beard, and he had kind of white hair, kind of like James Coburn, just standing there, And I'm thinking, you're not anything important. You're just some sort of security dude. And then I realized he was Secret Service. And so that's why I wanted to know how you got so close to him, because I got close to him, and I could have been, I was sitting next to Gloria Allred, by the way, when they finally had the convening in there. For some reason, Gloria Allred was in the audience. So I was sitting with Gloria Allred right next to her. And so, yeah, it was just a weird thing. I mean, it's a weird experience when you get close to somebody like the president or the president-to-be.
Well, he wasn't president yet.
I know.
But he actually got a kick out of it. I mean, because I was on the other side of the rope, where everybody was.
Right.
And he was the one who's like, come under the rope. Let's take a picture. I didn't ask him to take a picture. He asked me to take a picture.
That doesn't make any sense.
I know.
He's like he's probably, he should have the most security of anybody.
And after he was done taking his selfie, I was like, would you mind taking one with my camera too?
Anyway, so it's an interesting story, because I just wanted to know how you got so close to him. Because I couldn't believe that I was having tea with the guy, because I'm not a tea drinker. No, I'm not a tea drinker. He said, "Can I have some tea?" And so I didn't know he was a tea drinker, but now I do. But so yeah, I mean, it's like when you have, I think it's kind of like that Forrest Gump thing, where if you're that outrageous, or if you do some unique thing, or you have some unique moniker like, the Mad Martian or the Broccoli Man or whatever, you somehow have this clout where you get 10% off everything in the store. You just walk in and you say, "I'm Broccoli Man," and immediately go, "Oh, this guy thinks he's some sort of superhero, right?" And so
I wish it were that easy.
Well, it was easy to meet the former president, or the future president of the United States. Anybody else that you can recall that?
Jesse Ventura.
Oh,
he did a book signing
the
at
governor,
Powell's, and so I showed up at that.
And how was he? Was he receptive?
Oh yeah, he loved it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the thing, is that you wouldn't. I don't think you'd be able to meet all these people if it weren't for Broccoli Man.
Right. Well, I got on the news meeting these people, so you can actually see news footage of me meeting George W. Bush and Jesse Ventura on the YouTube site. I think it's youtube.com/broccoliman.
Right.
Hopefully, I didn't just send people to the wrong site.
How does one make a broccoli mask? Because I was always wondering how you made that thing, because it is so like you're a broccoli stalk. You look like a broccoli stalk, and you're walking along.
Actually, the origin of Broccoli Man is kind of bizarre, because it was kind of accidental.
Okay.
So I made a giant mask. I bought a giant block of furniture foam, and the idea was to make a nuclear mushroom cloud, so it looked like my head had exploded in a nuclear cloud.
Right.
And I made that mask. But before I had painted it, people joked that it looked like a stalk of broccoli.
Broccoli does look like a nuclear mushroom cloud, if you really think about it.
And so when years later, and that was back in Los Angeles, by the way, when I lived in L.A., and years later, I'm in Eugene, and I'm working for Symantec, and they had a chili cook-off at work. Mm-hmm. And I put broccoli in my chili, because I actually really do like broccoli a lot. And so to help promote the chili cook-off, my chili at the chili cook-off, I covered the nuclear mushroom cloud mask with green paper. And so the first Broccoli Man mask was actually not Broccoli Man. It was fake Broccoli Man or something, It
was nuclear Broccoli Man.
And it was done as like a one-time thing for this chili cook-off.
Right.
But it was a big hit. People loved the goofy guy in the broccoli head, trying to get people to eat the beef and broccoli chili, which is actually quite good.
It's bizarre again, because another thing that I used to do was put broccoli in my spaghetti sauce, along with artichokes and carrots. I used to make a garden spaghetti sauce at one time. It wasn't very popular. They didn't like the broccoli. I mean, I make great spaghetti. You ask anybody, they'll tell you Clyde Lewis makes the best spaghetti, and I do. I should just open a spaghetti factory or whatever. But I used to, back in the day, when I like to experiment with food. I've created all kinds of strange food, like mug of pizza, and I do a thing called burger cake, and I create all these different foods. But I wanted to make a spaghetti that was like this this spaghetti that was like a garden spaghetti. I used to call it garden spaghetti, where I threw everything that you get from the garden into the spaghetti, except for potatoes. But I put like carrots and artichokes and broccoli in it. Wasn't very popular. They didn't like people. I just don't know why there's an aversion to broccoli, but I like broccoli. And in fact, I used to hate just raw broccoli sitting on like a salad thing. So I do nuke it a little before I put it on the plate. So you give it like about 30 seconds of nuke time, and it makes it bearable.
Well, tell you what, I'm going to give the listeners a Broccoli Man chili challenge.
Okay.
Take whatever your favorite chili recipe is that has beans in it, and don't put the beans in. Instead of the beans, chop up broccoli and put the same volume of broccoli into it instead of beans.
And
it's so much better.
Is it?
So much better. I
Okay.
can't stand beans in chili.
Take it from Broccoli Man. Take the beans out of your chili. Okay, if you're gonna make chili, put a lot of beef in it though. You gotta have a beef ratio with the broccoli.
Yeah, or
right?
you can make a vegetarian chili. That's
beef
okay.
and broccoli. That's another thing. Beef and broccoli chili. You're doing a Chinese chili kind of sort of thing, right? Crazy, ladies and gentlemen. 3D. 3D. We're here with Broccoli Man. We're here with Broccoli Man, Mad Martian, and of course, remember the Eyeball Museum. www.eyeballmuseum.com. Cuddly eyeballs for everybody. We'll be back with more on Channel Weird right here. Don't go away.
AncientLifeOil.com. That's AncientLifeOil.com. Are you stressed? I mean, who isn't? Anxiety creeping in? No, not that. Is sleep hard to attain because your brain just won't slow down? We're living in crazy times, and the fear knob has been turned up. Okay, there's an answer. Take a big breath, exhale, and go log on to AncientLifeOil.com. CBD, broad and full spectrum, organic and non-GMO CBD for you to enjoy. Change your tune from fear to calm, from brain overload to clear thinking. 0.003 THC on full spectrum and 0% THC on broad spectrum. Competitive pricing with the best quality. Also know everything is going to get better. No worries, be happy. CBD can help calm so your nerves don't think they're a 6-string electric guitar. Enjoy life, smile, and log on to AncientLifeOil.com for great CBD. That's AncientLifeOil.com. You'll be glad you did.
Hey guys, it's Clyde Lewis. Have you ever wanted Ground Zero merchandise but didn't know where to go? Well, I want to let you know that we now have our own online store with such items as t-shirts, hoodies, decals, tote bags, and other exclusive specialty apparel. There's a secure and easy-to-use shopping cart for your purchases. Coming soon will be signed posters and coffee mugs available as we are constantly adding new items. So shop today at the official Ground Zero store by going to groundzeromerch.com. That's groundzeromerch.com.
Following a disaster, your home emergency kit will be invaluable. Building a kit doesn't take long, and you'll be glad you did when disaster strikes. Here's a list of items to include: a first aid kit, battery-powered or hand crank radio, flashlight, extra batteries, an emergency whistle, cell phone with charger, cash and small bills, a local map with your family meeting place identified, food and water to last 2 weeks, garbage bags, dust masks, and seasonal clothing and footwear. Add prescription medications or any other important items unique to your family's needs. Once you've created your kit, check food expiry dates once a year and update seasonal clothing for growing children. If you have pets, make sure you have everything your furry friends need in an easy-to-carry grab-and-go bag. To learn more about preparing an emergency kit, visit mil.wa.gov/preparedness and get 2 weeks ready.
Be sure to get your low-cost 2-week supply of food with a miraculous 25-year shelf life by going to preparewithgroundzero.com.
Hey guys, this is Clyde Lewis from Ground Zero. In order to counter the growing suppression and censorship of information, we've created our own private digital playground called Aftermath.media. It's an exclusive online multimedia library featuring a social media platform, videos, audio clips, archive shows, and research groups. There are also documents and a news aggregator, all for $10 a month. If you sign up for a yearly subscription this March, it's only $79. So go to aftermath.media. Again, that's aftermath.media.
Hi, I'm Stephen Briggs from the Surfer Music app. Surfer links thousands of stations displaying song titles and artists organized by genre. It's easy to find your favorites. You can join our Kickstarter campaign. Help us build 5 new features for the Surfer Music app. Find out more, go to Kickstarter.com and search for Surfer Music, S-U-R-F-R. For a direct link, go to surfer.fm and click the Kickstarter banner. That's S-U-R-F-R.fm.
It's Channel Weird. Just found out my producer, Andrew, likes broccoli on his pizza. You're kidding me.
No, broccoli on pizza is great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
So here's a question. During the break, we were talking about cooking, and you say you're not a cook.
No, I just make chili, spaghetti, and eggs.
But yet you auditioned for a cooking show.
I did.
Well, okay. So, you're not a cook, but you... All right, and you auditioned. So tell me about what cooking show and what was the situation with that?
So it was the next Food Network star on the Food Network. And I knew they weren't going to put me on the show. My whole goal was to get into the rejected audition montage, and I succeeded at that goal. And not only did I succeed at that goal, but for season 2, they asked me if they could reuse my submission video, because they wanted to put me in the rejected audition montage again.
Right.
So I'm in the rejected audition montage for 2 seasons.
So it was for the food. Thank God it wasn't for Chopped. That's all I gotta say. Because I was gonna chopped broccoli. What about that song? That Dana Carvey song. What do you?
Yeah.
I was just thinking about that as I was talking to you just now.
That is a
chopping
famous song.
Chopping broccoli.
And a sad news is when I was on The Gong Show, the reboot, Dana Carvey was one of the judges on some of the episodes, but not the episode I was on.
Oh, that would be terrible.
Yes.
Because it's like, he would have probably just praised you.
That would have been perfect to have Dana Carvey judging Broccoli Man on The Gong Show.
Broccoli Man. So, so you AGT, Food Network, any other shows you auditioned for? I mean, you're on The Gong Show, the rebooted Gong Show. Anything else that we may find in our treasures of old TV rejection sizzle reels or whatever?
Well, I was on the news a bunch of times as Broccoli Man. I actually won a contest at Alien Night at the ballpark. As best alien was Broccoli Man. Don't ask me how that happened. I'm like, it's not really an alien per se, but okay.
Well, wait a minute.
I'll take the prize.
Wait a minute. Day of the Triffids. Come on. You got to understand. There's another, for those of you at home that don't know about a B movie called Day of the Triffids. Day of the Triffids is about these plants that basically come to life and start attacking people after a meteor shower. I think that's what inspired Audrey 2 from Little Shop of Horrors, was the Day of the Triffids. But see, there's nothing that says that you can't have a cousin. Broccoli Man can't be cousins to the Triffids. The only thing is that if you put the Triffids in salt water, they die. But if you put broccoli and salt with a little bit of butter or a little bit of cheese sauce, they're yummy.
It's delicious. Yes.
Is it true that broccoli has a nervous system?
I don't know.
Because I hear they scream when you boil them like lobsters.
I don't think that really happens.
I hear they do.
No.
I could challenge you on that. We could we should have had a big pot here, and I would have proven to you that if you put broccoli in a pot and you boil it like a lobster, it screams.
I believe there's a band called Screaming Broccoli. I think there is. I think I have one of their albums.
Eyeballs and broccoli. Who would have thunk it? Okay, so Eyeballs, Broccoli Man, Mad Martian. You're also the creator of The Toilet of Terror.
Yeah.
Tell us about The Toilet of Terror.
Well, it'll scare the shit out of you.
I was waiting for that. I love daddy jokes. Let's say that. Okay, go ahead. So, tell us about how The Toilet of Terror will scare the living shit out of me.
Well, just like with the Eyeball Museum, it always starts with a few little things and then just grows and grows and grows. And the Toilet of Terror started, I used to throw Halloween parties when I lived in Los Angeles. And, I decorated the bathroom with some skulls. And, at some point I thought to make a sign said Toilet of Terror, it will scare the shit out of you, And then I just kept adding more skulls and more skulls and more skulls. And now I have over 50 skulls in there.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you collect skulls too?
Yeah, specifically for the Toilet of Terror, yeah.
Okay. And so would you even consider maybe franchising the Toilet of Terror? Kind of like I've noticed that they have that those commercials where they go in and they say, "Is your shower crappy? We can just take and put a bathtub over it and tile over it, and you can just cover up your crappy shower with this new thing." You could probably do the same with Toilet of Terror. Could you just put a whole new toilet over it and put skulls everywhere?
A goth makeover for your bathroom.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
I don't see a problem with that. I mean,
I'm not going to do it, but if some listener thinks of
you turn it into a
running
ritual.
with it,
you just walk into the bathroom, you light a candle, you have the skulls everywhere, and you start thinking about shit. What you doing? I'm in here thinking about shit, and it's scaring the shit out of me. But we had pictures, right? We have the pictures up of the Toilet of Terror. And so you're not planning on doing anything with that.
That's just in the house. Yeah.
You're not putting it in any major spook alleys what they have the terror rooms here, the escape rooms. I mean, can you imagine having one in an escape room? That'd be kind of fun, don't you think?
Yeah.
I'm sure you know a lot of people that run these types of affairs. You probably hang out with all the weird people. You were telling me that you have a friendship with Amazo the Clown. Extremo the Clown. Extremo, I'm sorry.
Extremo!
Yeah, Extremo the Clown. Why did I say Amazo the Clown? Extremo came to one of my parties. I had a party for like 10, 20 years. And it was about the time he was running for mayor of Portland. And you know what? I think Extremo should run again.
I think so, too.
Because I believe that he would have a better grasp on what to do with this city. We really need to make Portland weird again.
Yeah.
I mean,
definitely.
I think we're lacking these days. I think that since COVID, we've lost our ability to be weird.
Yeah.
And I think more and more weirdness needs to be. I mean, we have a lot of people like you and others that are in the woodwork that really need to be exposed. We need to expose you for the weirdness you have. So tell me about Extremo. How's he doing? Have you talked with him lately?
I haven't talked to him during the pandemic.
Okay.
I did a video of him, actually. Someday I need to post that online, when he was running for mayor. So I got some campaign video of him. I may have posted it at some point. I don't remember.
He dressed up as though,
Yeah.
I mean, he came to my party. It was around the 10-year anniversary of Ground Zero. He came to one of my parties. He showed up at Dante's, and I was so, I don't know, it brought a tear to my eye, I guess. I was just so damn proud of the fact that Extremo the Clown took the time to get out of his weird car. I've seen his car. It's just weird.
Yeah.
Get out of his weird car, come to my party, and he was dressed as a classic, like, Emmett Kelly clown. And it was just like out of the circus from the old days. And it was so awesome. And I told him, I said, I was just so grateful that he took the time to come to one of my parties, because I thought he was one of Portland's celebrities. He just seems to be one of those weird celebrities that, once again, there are plenty of weird celebrities in this town. There's, Street Elvis, there's Extremo, and there's, so many that you could say. I mean, even you could go back and say Cat Daddy and Trey Shannon were kind of the weird guys that did Voodoo Donuts, and it's like now they're these important donut megalo-millionaires, and I knew them I still knew them when, and it's because I used to hang out downtown. And like I said, and I've seen you as Broccoli Man. I mean, I've met you as Broccoli Man, not as yourself now, but just the idea of seeing you in McMinnville. You were carrying some sign. What did it say?
It said, "Eat your broccoli before it eats you."
See, and that's the thing, is that you show up at these alien gatherings, and so is Broccoli Man an alien, or is he a superhero?
Yes. Well, actually, I did create an origin story video for Broccoli Man.
You should create a comic book for back.
And you can see that online.
Okay, what's the origin story?
So basically, it's that I play a broccoli farmer who can't get his kids to eat broccoli.
Right.
And so I create a hybrid between broccoli and chocolate. between broccoli and cacao, basically.
Yeah, cacao.
And make broccoli taste like chocolate, so my kids will eat it.
Right.
In the video. And I accidentally end up in the machine with the broccoli and get turned into Broccoli Man, a la The Fly.
Yeah.
So it's basically a spoof of The Fly, and that's
I mean,
on
come on,
YouTube.
look what it did for Too Much Coffee Man. You know,
Yeah.
you've seen Too Much Coffee Man.
Oh yeah.
He's a very, I mean, artist here from Pacific Northwest. Comics, amazing comic, Too Much Coffee Man.
Mm-hmm.
I would think that if you got a hold of the right comic book artist, Broccoli Man would be either a superhero or an alien in a comic book.
I would love to partner with an artist to do that. That would be awesome.
Okay, so you're hearing it here. For those of the comic book artists who watch this, because I know a lot of comic book artists watch Channel Weird and listen to Ground Zero, Broccoli Man is your man. I mean, you could make a great, I think, comic book backstory of a scientist or someone who wants to make broccoli taste like chocolate. And when he's doing it, he screws up and he becomes Broccoli Man. Is there something that has to happen? Like, for example, I mean, do you have to get angry before you turn into Broccoli Man?
He just turns into Broccoli Man.
Just
and he's always Broccoli Man. Yes.
like that.
Yeah.
And that's how it happens.
Yeah, it's a hybridization chamber. Like it's kind of like from The Fly, but
does he have to always go into a hybridization chamber in order to make this happen?
No. Once he's changed, that's it.
Because I think he could do it in a porta potty or something.
Yeah.
And he went into the porta potty and he became Broccoli Man. I would love to do the voice if you don't do the voice. Are you gonna do the voice?
I am Broccoli Man.
Yeah, Broccoli Man and the Toxic Avenger work together. I'm the Toxic Avenger with Broccoli Man. That's how I used to do when I did the voice. They sounded like Gary Owens. Remember Gary Owens?
Oh yeah.
It was a mixture of Gary Owens and Toast Man. That's what I did for the Toxic Avenger. And they're the same person. I mean, Toast Man, Powdered Toast Man, and Gary Owens were my inspirations for the Toxic Avenger's voice.
Excellent.
But yeah, I could easily see this be a superhero.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you have any aspirations, but you should have them because I think it's come this far, and you've gone into cooking shows and America's Got Talent, man. I watch that all the time. So I mean, you've made it, dude. But you just got to turn it into something lucrative.
Yeah. No, I have not figured out how to make any money.
Well, you should. I think you should. I mean, anything is sellable. I mean, come on. You got to follow. I mean, you can't buy one of these, but I would love to buy one of these, okay? I would love to scare my friends with a 3D eyeball. Yeah. I think it'd be awesome.
I mean, my favorites in the collection are always, of course, the one-of-a-kind things, like this made by my friend Laura, and also Extremo actually painted a spider eyeball called Spider for me. And that's, sitting above my fireplace. And,
yeah, he's a painter.
And you've got a picture of that.
You have the spider picture?
Picture of the spider.
Spider.
Yes.
Spider.
So spider and this pillow and, of course, the Omsie eyeball, those are like my most prized eyeballs in
is
the
there
collection.
A place that they can, if anybody has eyeballs that they just want to get rid of, like eyeball toys, not real eyeballs, you don't want to put an eye out, can they send them to you?
If people want to send me eyeballs, sure. In fact, one time I arrived... actually, no, I was already home. I opened the door, and someone in the middle of the night had left a whole bunch of balloons painted like eyeballs at my house.
Wow.
With like eye charts and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
And to this day, I have no idea who that was.
www.eyeballmuseum.com. I'm sure there's an email or a contact or something. So if you have like eyeball type things that you've collected, and you have no place for them in your home, or you need to let them go, send them to the Eyeball Museum.
Yeah.
That'd be a great thing.
I take donations, sure.
Coming up, we're going to talk about wine, of all things. That's another facet. Talk about wine and the wine lunatic. Coming up on Channel Weird. We'll be back with more. Don't go away.
AncientLifeOil.com. That's AncientLifeOil.com. Are you stressed? I mean, who isn't? Anxiety creeping in? No, not that. Is sleep hard to attain because your brain just won't slow down? We're living in crazy times, and the fear knob has been turned up. Okay, there's an answer. Take a big breath, exhale, and go log on to ancientlifeoil.com. CBD, broad and full spectrum, organic and non-GMO CBD for you to enjoy. Change your tune from fear to calm, from brain overload to clear thinking. 0.003 THC on full spectrum and 0% THC on broad spectrum. Competitive pricing with the best quality. Also know everything is going to get better. No worries, be happy. CBD can help calm so your nerves don't think they're a 6-string electric guitar. Enjoy life, smile, and log on to ancientlifeoil.com for great CBD. That's ancientlifeoil.com. You'll be glad you did.
Hey guys, it's Clyde Lewis. Have you ever wanted Ground Zero merchandise but didn't know where to go? Well, I want to let you know that we now have our own online store with such items as t-shirts, hoodies, decals, tote bags, and other exclusive specialty apparel. There's a secure and easy-to-use shopping cart for your purchases. Coming soon will be signed posters and coffee mugs available as we are constantly adding new items. So shop today at the official Ground Zero store by going to groundzeromerch.com. That's groundzeromerch.com.
Following a disaster, your home emergency kit will be invaluable. Building a kit doesn't take long, and you'll be glad you did when disaster strikes. Here's a list of items to include: a first aid kit, battery-powered or hand crank radio, flashlight, extra batteries, an emergency whistle, cell phone with charger, cash and small bills, a local map with your family meeting place identified, food and water to last 2 weeks, garbage bags, dust masks, and seasonal clothing and footwear. Add prescription medications or any other important items unique to your family's needs. Once you've created your kit, check food expiry dates once a year and update seasonal clothing for growing children. If you have pets, make sure you have everything your furry friends need in an easy-to-carry grab-and-go bag. To learn more about preparing an emergency kit, visit mil.wa.gov/preparedness and get 2 weeks ready.
Be sure to get your low-cost 2-week supply of food with a miraculous 25-year shelf life by going to preparewithgroundzero.com.
Hey guys, this is Clyde Lewis from Ground Zero. In order to counter the growing suppression and censorship of information, we've created our own private digital playground called Aftermath.media. It's an exclusive online multimedia library featuring a social media platform, videos, audio clips, archive shows, and research groups. There are also documents and a news aggregator, all for $10 a month. If you sign up for a yearly subscription this March, it's only $79. So go to Aftermath.media. Again, that's Aftermath.media.
Hi, I'm Stephen Briggs from the Surfer Music app. Surfer links thousands of stations displaying song titles and artists organized by genre. It's easy to find your favorites. You can join our Kickstarter campaign. Help us build 5 new features for the Surfer Music app. Find out more, go to Kickstarter.com and search for Surfer Music, S-U-R-F-R. For a direct link, go to surfer.fm and click the Kickstarter banner. That's SURFR.fm.
Channel Weird, and we are weird with a Mad Martian, Broccoli Man, and the Wine Lunatic. Okay, another persona.
Yes. In fact, actually, that's.
I bet your psychiatrist has a ball with you.
Oh, I think I would. If I had a shrink, they'd be jumping out the window. That's actually why I wear the jester hat.
Because why?
Because I am the Wine Lunatic, and I actually that logo on the Wine Lunatic card originally was from the Faux Film Festival that I used to run in Portland. Ran it for, God, how many years did I do that for? 11, 12, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Actually did one online during the pandemic to help out the Clinton Street
Another thing
Theater.
we have in common, Clinton Street, we did a film festival called Looking Down Clyde's Shorts. It was short films. And Ron Jeremy showed up. And who's that guy that it's the film, he's the film historian that used to be the Clinton Street Theater. Do you remember his name? I don't remember his name.
Dennis.
Dennis.
Yeah.
So Dennis decided, because he's a film cutter. He's been a film cutter because that's back then. That's what they did. They cut the film and let it run. He put together some porno clips of Ron Jeremy's best work. And so here he is walking down and they're showing these kids are in the audience going, "Mommy," and so it's really bad. And so we didn't do it again. We didn't do, we didn't do that. Okay, so you did a faux film festival. Let's go back from porn to wine. Tell me about it.
Yeah, so this logo was actually done by artist Steve Hess, local artist.
Mm-hmm.
And the original logo he did with the holding the film camera.
Mm-hmm.
And then I basically just swapped out the film camera for a wine glass.
Yeah.
And used it for Wine Lunatic now. And basically I wear a jester hat. I interview winemakers. And I try to have fun with it. And that actually started because I started getting into wine. And I'd seek out wine videos online.
Right.
And, they'd be a couple of snooty old guys going, look, oh, I smell leather. I mean, boring.
It has a good bouquet.
Just really boring stuff. And
Yeah.
I didn't find anything interesting about watching a couple guys talk about the smell of leather. I don't know. And I'm like, I can do better than this, and I like actually finding out about the history of what got people to become winemakers. You don't generally go through high school thinking I'm going to be a winemaker, right?
No.
So hearing the backstory from winemakers is fascinating to me. And I like to have fun with it. So sometimes I even can get them to wear a jester hat.
What's hilarious is that I like wine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a very good. I mean, I like the $3 Chuck. I don't know.
Oh God, no.
Well, it's the best thing you do. Go to Trader Joe's, get some $3 Chuck. Because I had a girlfriend that used to drink all that stuff. But one of the things that's interesting is I went to a New York Indian restaurant, and they were serving Indian food. We were doing a shoot for. We were talking about War of the Worlds, the Orson Welles audio radio show they did in the 30s. And so I was in New York to go to the CBS radio building where they did it, and then we headed out to Grover's Mill, New Jersey. And that was one of my funnest thing I ever did was look at Grover's Mill. Well, one of the things is we went to an Indian restaurant. And I'm looking over the food, got some food, and I thought, we got to have some wine. So I look at the wine. Where was the wine from? Dundee, Oregon. So I go all the way to New York just to drink Dundee wine.
That's funny.
So, I mean, there are plenty of wineries. I mean, this is the best place to do a wine show.
Well, actually, the Wine Media Conference this year is in Eugene.
Really?
Yeah, in August.
So, I mean, we have some of the best wineries in the United States here. And that's why I said, Dundee, Oregon. Are you kidding me? She goes, oh, no. They have the best wines, and we get them from Oregon. And so that's why, it's not, I don't think it's too crazy to have a wine lunatic show in a place where I don't think a lot of people understand that a lot of wines, some of the fine wines they serve in restaurants in New York, Chicago, all over the world come from Oregon.
Yeah, and Washington, too. Walla Walla, Washington has fantastic big reds.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so you do a wine show.
Yeah.
And where do we see the wine show?
On YouTube. So it's not a regular thing. It's not like a live podcast or anything like that. Just whenever I find time, because I've recorded more video than I ever have time to edit. I even recorded some in France I haven't edited yet.
So what's your favorite wine?
Morved.
Morved.
Or Morvedra. I just call it Morved. Also known as Monastrell, also known as Mataro. And it's one of the biggest of the big reds. And a lot of people haven't heard of it, but it once was very popular in the old days.
I had a wine one time, and there was these goths. They were wine connoisseurs, right? They collected wines. And they brought it to the studio. We were interviewing these goths. They said, we want you to try a wine, and we want you to, to drink this wine. Tell us what you think. It tasted like blood. Seriously. They said, does this remind you of anything? And I go, yeah, it tastes like blood. It's because there's a lot of iron in it, I guess. And so the ferrous in the wine gave it that flavor of wine. And what really was weird about it is that I drank it and I thought, tastes like blood. And then,
it's funny that you know what blood tastes like.
Well, of course. You ever been hit in the mouth? You ever had a tooth fall out? Yeah, of course I know what blood tastes like. I'm just saying. I don't go around sucking blood. He's a vampire. But anyway, it was weird because I drank it and I thought, ick. It's ick. But then for some reason, I had a craving for that wine and that wine taste, and it just made me feel...
So you are a vampire.
No. No, I'm not.
But I love the big reds. The
Yeah.
big reds. Walla Walla has a lot of good ones.
Yeah.
And Morved. For people, if you've never heard of Morved, haven't tried Morved, I recommend seeking it out. Most wine shops only have like 2 or 3 if you're lucky.
Right.
Or go to the French section and get something from Bandol.
Okay.
And I actually went to Bandol in 2019, and someday I will edit that video. The winery I visited in Bandol. Yeah.
The most, I think the most novelty wine I ever had in my life was Roswell. I had the Roswell wine. I guess they have wine in Roswell. Went to Roswell, New Mexico on the 50th anniversary. And I, along with Stanton Friedman and Don Schmidt, who are these UFO guys, we actually stole the Roswell wines that were there. They had them, and we stole them because they were there on display, and we actually stole them. I took it with me back home, and I made this commitment. I said, I will open this bottle of wine when they finally tell us that aliens are real. The only problem is that I kept the wine forever because they haven't told us that we're supposed to be getting some sort of a indication this June that the UFOs are something, And I looked at the bottle, and I just can't. I looked at it, and I don't think I'll be able to drink it. I think it's turned into balsamic vinegar or something like that. I'd probably put it on my salad. That's about as far as it goes with wine. But anyway, but that's the novelty wine that I had in my collection, was a wine from Roswell, New Mexico.
Yeah, I drink my wine chronologically, so I don't end up with anything that's turned.
The wine has been turned.
Yeah.
We only turn it to the dark side. Yeah. Amazing interview. This is exactly what I want. Channel Weird is meant for guys like you, and I'm glad you're making Portland weird again. Mad Martian,
Excellent.
Thank you. Again, Wine Lunatic, www.winelunatic.com. Please go there. Go to www.eyeballmuseum.com. Get yourself an eye. Keep an eye.
Not that one, but lots of others.
Lots of others. Dangly eyes. Dangly eyes. And, of course, Broccoli Man, coming to a comic book near you. Thank you so much for being on the program.
Thank you. Great to be here.
It was great having you. Really, it was. Thank you so much. And another Channel Weird next week, hopefully. And we'll be doing that, too. Be sure to check us out later on. We roll again in the evening, too. So we'll see you soon.
Be weird.
Yes.